To all the party people in the place to be, what's going on? It's your boy Dez, and this is not your traditional DezTV. This is kind of a little talking point that someone asked me to talk about. If you haven't watched the news, I'm sure you've seen memes. I'm sure you've heard about it. You've seen the clips. Stacy Dash has kind of lost sight of this, of who she is and what she is, and the world is going crazy.
If we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET.
Earlier in the week, Stacy Dash went on Fox News, which is arguably the biggest freaking Republican news network with an agenda on the planet. And so Stacy Dash was responding to her thoughts on the outcry of, you know, Oscars So White that we had 2 years ago, where, you know, this year there were no black actors or black directors nominated in, you know, at the Academy Awards. And Jada Pinkett Smith and a few other celebrities were boycotting, or wanting to boycott the Oscars because there's no diversity. Now, I do want to touch that first and foremost. That's understandable, that's fine. I get it. I get it. I get that appeal, I get why, but at the same time, we do have to realize who's the host of the Academy Awards this year. It's Chris Rock. So by boycotting this one thing, we are now not showing support for one of our own, which in itself is just as bad. So I want to start by saying that if you're going to boycott, you need to come up with more than just that reason, because, you know, logically it doesn't make sense. You can go ahead and you're going to boycott because you don't see enough, you know, black actors or film directors being nominated, but you're not going to support the black host who has been a prominent figure in our community for such a long time. That's number one. Number two, we have to understand how the Academy Awards works. I do think that, you know, there could be a little bit more diversity behind it, but you also have to realize that each company, each film can only put up certain people, certain things, and the idea of the Academy Awards is to win. So I'll use Creed as an example. The young man that was in Creed, Michael B. Jordan, did a phenomenal job. And everyone's upset because Sylvester Stallone is nominated for the award. But you have to realize and understand, first and foremost, that when, in the grand scheme, when you're putting those up, and this is not to justify, because I agree 100% that maybe there needs to be a little bit more diversity on a consistent basis in the Academy Awards. But to the point, you have to understand that when you're putting up, you know, your idea of the Academy Awards is to win, you're going to bet your money, you're going to put your chance on Sylvester Stallone simply for the reason that we're talking about, that he's a bigger draw than Michael B. Jordan is. It's reality. You know, it's supposed to be based off of talent, skills, or whatever, but in retrospect, that's not the case. So they're basing it off of, you know, the majority. They're basing it off of experience. If you were to come to me with this similar thing in 5 years and Michael B. Jordan is, you know, in the same position, 100% throw him in there. He's now a credited actor who had some serious roles. We can now, you know, he holds credibility. Now these companies are like, okay, he can win. And I think that goes into it just as much as the race and all the other stuff. Anyway, back to Stacy Dash and her craziness. So in retort to the question she was asked in regards to the boycotting of the Oscars, she responded something along the lines of she wanted to get rid of, we can have integration or segregation, but we can't have both. And that's not the problem, and that's where her first issue goes. I think she chose her words so wrong, and again, this goes to her being fed lines, which I'll get into later. But integration or segregation, that has nothing to do with it. We're not segregating by having a network that's devoted to the black culture, even though that's real. Black culture is not a thing. It's the culture of America. There's different, you know, geographical locations, whatever. That's another video for another time. But we'll say black culture for the sake of the video, because guess what? Otherwise, we're not going to have it. You know, no one bats an eye when we have a Seinfeld. No one bats an eye when there's a Friends. No one bats an eye for Will and Grace, where they take characters. You know, Will and Grace I use as a perfect example. The show based off of homosexuality and two gay friends and the white woman. And these gays, you know, you have Jack who's super flamboyant, and that doesn't reflect a lot of homosexuals or gay people that I know, but that was the stereotype that was used. That's not here nor there, but that's an example. You know, so when gay people look at TV, again, I'll use them as a good example. If all they see is flamboyant, all they see is the glitter throwing, super sassy homosexual, and that's not a good population of the gay community. Why would they then, you know, why wouldn't they cause a fuss? There's nothing for them to relate to. So when they get their own networks, like they do, I can't think of the name of the network, unfortunately, but there's a network that was founded by VH1's like ownership for homosexuals, Logo. There we go, MTV maybe. Logo, that's for the gay community. That's fine, it's understandable, because guess what? That's going to cater more so to them. So it's not a matter of segregation or integration. You know, sure, we want to be incorporated because Stacy Dash is so good to say on a regular basis that we're all American. We're all American. We're all American. But we can be all American. However, why is it not depicted that way? Where you know, on a paper you write down, I'm African American, there's Asian American, there's Mexican American, but Caucasians are just American. Why aren't they European American? Why aren't they French American or whatever? So Stacy Dash, in that essence, I think she's incorrect. You know, having networks like BET is not about segregating. It's about appreciating and understanding our culture. Now, I'm not talking about the BET that's on now. When I was growing up, BET, you know, Black Caucuses, and they focused on HBCUs, and it was about uplifting and generally understanding and appreciating, you know, us as Black people and getting us knowledgeable and learning things. And I think if we didn't have BET when I was growing up, where were we going to get that information? She also went ahead to say things like that she thought that, you know, we need to get rid of Black History Month. Well, honey, as a person who loves our history, Black people history of African American people in America, and I hate the word African American, but I'll use it for the sake of the video, but for Black people in America, we are not going to get that information. The white people are not going to get that information in schools, you know. If we get rid of Black History Month, the way this country works, it's what? It's catered to the white aspect of history. And you know, it's a big part of the country's history, but so is the Mexican history in America. So is the Black history in America. So is the, you know, the migration of Asian people, of Jews in America. Such a prominent thing, but we're not taught these things in school. So if we get rid of Black History Month, you know, we don't get these things, and then you have a whole generation of kids, of students, of people who, like right now, you can see it so well now, that aren't knowledgeable about the Black community, that aren't knowledgeable about their history, because guess what? It's not so much focused on. So say Stacy Dash, where do we get it from? If we don't have a Black History Month, if we don't have BET that was created in the essence that it was originally created in, where do we get this knowledge? Because it's not readily available for us. We have to go out of our way to understand our history. Why is that fair to us as a community, as a people, but, you know, the vast majority of the country, you know, the Caucasian, they get it without a problem. I can open up every book, white, Mexican, white, Black, you know, and not as bad. So it's not about segregation or integration. It's about even playing field. What I don't understand, and my issue is with Stacy Dash, you know, I posted my meme rather, and somebody responded that, what did she say? The girl said, no, she didn't say she didn't appreciate Black culture. I posted a meme that just stated that, you know, Stacy Dash is a hypocrite. She's been on BET numerous times. She was on a show. She's been featured in Hustle. She's been featured in King magazine. She's been featured in Essence and all these predominantly Black magazines and media. But, you know, when the check was there, it's fine. My issue with Stacy Dash is it seems as though she's cooned out for the dollar. They found their token nigga, and excuse my word, but they found their token nigga, Fox News, which they tend to do. And don't get it twisted, this is not just Stacy Dash, this is an issue with Fox News. They find their token nigga, and, you know, they feed them this bullshit. Because if you listen to the words that come out of Stacy Dash's mouth and you look at her expressions, they don't match. You know, when you go on something like Fox News, you do your research. She stated something along the lines of, you know, about the Image Awards, that you have to be Black to win an award. Justin Timberlake with the exception of his music, is white bread at its finest. Sofia Vergara, Sandra Bullock. So clearly Stacy Dash isn't doing any sort of information or research, so it's really invalid. I feel bad for her to an extent that I don't know where she is in her life, but to the fact where you have to sell out your country, you have to sell out your skin complexion. Stacy Dash has gone on, she's pulled a Raven Simone. I am not black. I am American. Bitch, what? Ain't you from the Bronx? Ain't your people like bohemian and black? Like, I did research, this is true. So why all of a sudden do you think that you can put on a little bit of makeup to lighten that skin tone and you think that you can just walk around and say what you want to? Stacy Dash is so disconnected from us as black people. And Paul Mooney once said it best in one of his, comedy shows, that the Mexicans got their nigga wake up call, the Asians got their nigga wake up call. Stacy Dash just needs to get her nigga wake up call. And the moment that she realizes that she's being used as a tool by Fox News, yeah, they're writing you this check, but all that money, what legacy are you leaving, Stacy Dash? Where's your integrity? You can't stand up for your people. You have a platform to be, to speak out for the rights and for equality for our people. Just like years ago you spoke up against, women, against women. So it's a trend here with Stacy Dash. She tends to jump on the things unknowing and ununderstanding and doing whatever it is that Stacy Dash wants to do, and gets that check from Fox News. They get their little coon when they need it, and she goes home with stuffed pockets. And I think it's stupid. So I think Stacy Dash is a hypocrite. I think that she really needs to take a step back and evaluate, is this money really worth my legacy? Is this money really worth me, tarnishing my people, tearing down my people, and saying things that really just don't even out? Stacy Dash just needs to understand that if we don't have these things, we're just succumbing. We're already a culture of people as black people in America that is already self-loathing, because we're taught to self-loathe. We're a group of people rather that's taught to just be okay with settling. And as often as she said it, you gotta rise above, do whatever, you're basically saying we just need to settle with what we're given. And in my mind, that's super stupid, it's super dumb. It doesn't make sense. We need to uplift our people. Hell, BET ain't what it used to be, but it's still there. It has the white owners, but it's still there, which still gives it an option or the opportunity to be something. Stacy Dash, you have a platform to be something else. You have a platform you're on Fox News. You're on the biggest conservative news network in the world, Stacy Dash. You have the opportunity to make a change. And the words that come out of your mouth make me absolutely sick as a human being. They make me sick as a person. You spend this time talking about the goddamn Oscars. I understand. You should stay in her lane in some regards because she's an actress. They asked her about this, but you have issues going on at Flint that, honestly, if we look back and we like to tie things in, because our culture and things are taught the way they are and we're not given this equal shake. This is why things happen like that are happening in Flint, Michigan, because of stuff like this, integration versus separation. You can poison a black community and it's fine because we're taught to just be okay with things. Stacy Dash, you're just the perfect example of being just okay. You're taking what you're giving, you're not doing any independent research, and you're just fine with it. And I think it's absolutely dumb and it's stupid. So I'm gonna stop because it's gonna make me hot, it's gonna make me angry. But if you're watching this, I just wanna challenge you to investigate, do your own research. Don't succumb to stupidness. Don't let them tell you that you're in a box. Because once you get stuck in a box, you're in that box and you can't expand. Punch a hole through that box, walk out and explore, broaden your horizons. So guess what? Huey Newton once said that an unarmed man is subject to slavery at any given time. In my mind, that means unarmed isn't just with guns. Unarmed is unknowledgeable, uneducated, unwilling, and just conforming and comfortable. So that unknowledge person is privy to slavery at any given time. Mental slavery, physical slavery. Just like the Africans of old and the Asians of old and the Caucasians of old. Everybody was a slave. But, you know, it's a matter of how you perceive the knowledge. So Stacy Dash, maybe you need to open up a book. Maybe you need to understand history, because if you knew your history a little bit better, you wouldn't be saying the things that you say. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. Like, rate, comment, subscribe in the boxes below. I normally don't do topics like this, but I feel like it was good, it was cool, it's fine. Tell me what you think. As always, my name is Dez. This has been DezTV. Peace to you, and especially you. 사랑해. Taste the walnuts. The walnuts are fun. Just jelly.